InnerWhisper channel.
Could the Eightfold Path be the map back to yourself? Life is a journey, one filled with uncertainty, choices, and endless change. Sometimes, it feels like we're walking through a fog, searching for direction, meaning, or peace. We strive, we stumble, we rise again. But deep down, we all share the same wish: to live with purpose, kindness, and freedom from suffering. The Buddha once offered not a religion, but a path, a simple, timeless map for those who seek clarity in the chaos of life. It's called the Noble Eightfold Path, and it's not about belief, but practice. It's about how we think, how we speak, how we act, and how we live every single day. Imagine it like a compass for the soul. When life pulls you in all directions, these 8 principles help you find your way back to truth, to balance, and to yourself. The first step is right understanding. It means seeing life as it truly is, not through the lens of fear, desire, or illusion. Most of our pain doesn't come from what happens, but from how we interpret it. When we see clearly, we suffer less. Understanding is freedom. The second is right thought, the intention behind every action. Our minds are powerful creators. When we feed anger, it grows. When we nurture compassion, it blossoms. Right thought is about choosing thoughts that heal instead of harm, that lift instead of weigh us down. Then comes right speech. Words can heal or destroy. They can open hearts or close them. Every time we speak, we plant seeds. The question is, what are we planting? Right speech means using words with awareness, speaking truthfully, gently, and with kindness. The next is right action, the way we live and move through the world. It's about living with integrity, doing what's right, even when no one is watching. Right action isn't about perfection, it's about intention. When we choose kindness over convenience, honesty over comfort, we shape a life that aligns with peace. Then we have right livelihood. It asks us, how do we earn our living? Does our work harm others? Or does it contribute to well-being? Right livelihood doesn't mean you must become a monk or a saint. It simply means finding ways to live and work without betraying your values. These first 5 steps form the foundation of a peaceful life. They teach us how to think clearly, act kindly, and live honestly. But the path goes deeper. It invites us to cultivate the mind itself, to master attention and awareness, so that we can experience true freedom, not just momentary relief. The next step is right effort. Imagine your mind as a garden. If you don't tend to it, weeds, fear, anger, greed begin to grow. Right effort is not about forcing or controlling. It's about gentle discipline. It's the willingness to nourish what's wholesome and release what's toxic. Every time you choose calm over chaos, patience over frustration, you are walking the paths. Then comes right mindfulness, the heart of this journey. Mindfulness is not about escaping life. It's about entering it fully. To be mindful is to be awake to see the sunrise without distraction, to feel your breath, to taste your coffee, to notice your thoughts without judgment. It's about returning home to the present moment, again and again, until presence becomes peace. And finally, right concentration, the power of stillness. In a world that never stops moving, stillness is revolutionary. When the mind is steady, clear, and focused, we begin to see the truth of all things. That everything changes, that nothing lasts, and that peace is found not in control, but in letting go. The Eightfold Path is not a ladder to climb, but a circle of balance. Each step supports the others. Together, they form a way of living that's both practical and profound, a way to end unnecessary suffering and rediscover joy in the simplicity of being alive. When we live with right understanding, we stop blaming. When we practice right speech, we stop hurting. When we cultivate right effort and mindfulness, we stop running from ourselves. Slowly, life becomes lighter, not because the world changes, but because we do. This path is not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about waking up a little more each day. You don't need to walk it all at once. Just begin where you are. Every conscious breath, every kind words, every honest act, these are the steps. Remember, peace is not somewhere you go, it's something you grow. In today's world, the path may seem far away. Our lives are loud, vast, and full of distractions. We wake up to screens, chase deadlines, and fall asleep with noise still echoing in our heads. It's easy to forget that peace is not something we need to find, it's something we already have, waiting beneath the surface of all our striving. The Eightfold Path is not ancient philosophy locked in temples. It's a living wisdom, meant for moments like these when life feels too much, when our hearts ache, when we forget who we are. Let's begin with how it meets us in daily life. When you practice right understanding, you begin to see your struggles differently. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you start asking, "What can this teach me?" Suddenly, pain turns into a teacher. Loss becomes a mirror showing us what truly matters. Suffering, instead of being an enemy, becomes a guide whispering truths about impermanence, compassion, and strength. Right thought reminds us that everything starts with intention. The mind is a garden, and thoughts are the seeds. Most of us let our thoughts grow wild fears, judgments, comparisons. But when we choose thoughts of kindness, gratitude, and patience, our inner world begins to shift. A gentle thought is not small. It can change the way we see the entire world. And right speech, how easily we forget the power of words. A single sentence can brighten someone's day or break their spirit. Think about it. How many times have words lifted you out of darkness or cut you down when you needed understanding most? When we learn to pause before we speak, to ask, will my words heal or harm? we begin to turn ordinary conversations into acts of compassion. Then comes right action, the way we move through the world. Every choice we make, what we eat, how we treat others, how we respond to anger shapes our destiny. Right action is not a rulebook. It's a reminder that every act has energy. When you choose honesty over deceit, forgiveness over revenge, generosity over greed, you are not just being good, you are aligning yourself with the rhythm of peace. And right livelihood, perhaps one of the hardest in modern times. We all need to work, to earn, to survive. But the question is, does your work make the world a little better or a little worse? Does it exhaust your soul or feed it? You don't need to quit your job or become a monk. It's about intention, doing your work with mindfulness, with care, with respect for life. The moment your heart is in what you do, your work becomes service. Now, the second half of the path speaks to our inner world, the quiet spaces where we battle our fears and habits. Right effort teaches us that transformation doesn't come from willpower alone. It comes from steady, loving persistence. You don't pull a flower open, you give it light, and it blooms naturally. Right effort means caring for your inner world like a gardener, watering joy, removing resentment, and being patient with the seasons of your own growth. Right mindfulness, the art of being fully present. In truth, mindfulness is not just meditation. It's awareness in motion, washing dishes, walking your dog, listening to a friend, breathing through a storm. When you are truly here, even the simplest moments glow with life. Most of our pain comes not from what is happening, but from our resistance to it. When we stop fighting the present, peace slips quietly into our hearts. And then there is right concentration, the jewel at the heart of the paths. Concentration doesn't mean force. It's the stillness that arises when the mind stops chasing and begins to rest. When the waves of thought calm, the truth becomes visible that happiness has never been somewhere else. It's been here all along, within you. As you walk this path, you realize something profound. It's not about escaping the world, but embracing it fully. To be awake doesn't mean to withdraw from life. It means to live it deeply with eyes open, heart open, mind clear. The Eightfold Path is not a list to memorize, but a mirror to live by. It reflects your truth, your habits, your light and your shadows. The more you walk it, the more you understand that enlightenment isn't a destination. It's a way of walking. Even in the busiest cities, even in the middle of chaos, you can live this path. It's there when you choose compassion over anger, when you breathe before reacting, when you forgive instead of holding on. Each of those moments is a step on the path. The Buddha once said that enlightenment is not found in mountains or monasteries, but in the simple awareness of your own breath. In every inhale and exhale, you have a choice to drift away in thought or to return to yourself, to this moment, the peace. We live in an age where silence is rare, where even peace is marketed as something to buy. But the truth is simpler. The stillness you seek is not out there. It has always been inside you. The Eightfold Path is not a religion. It's a rhythm of being a way to walk through life without losing yourself in its noise. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to understand it all. You only have to take one mindful step at a time. When you practice right understanding, you begin to see that everything changes: pain, joy, success, failure. Nothing lasts forever, and that's what makes life precious. You stop clinging. You start flowing. Right thought becomes a quiet rebellion, choosing kindness in a world that profits from anger. It's not weakness. It's power in its most graceful form. Through right speech, you bring healing into the world. Every word becomes a seed of peace. Imagine if everyone spoke with compassion, how different our world would sound. Right action reminds us that small acts matter. Holding the door for a stranger, listening without judgment, offering a smile, these are all steps on the path. And right livelihood teaches us that no job is meaningless when done with love. Whether you build, clean, teach, or create, when your work comes from the heart, it becomes a form of meditation. But to keep walking, we need right effort, the gentle courage to begin again each time we fall. No one walks the path perfectly. The goal isn't to never stumble. It's to rise with understanding. Right mindfulness is the light you carry wherever you go. It turns ordinary moments into miracles: the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the sound of rain, the breath that keeps you alive. And finally, right concentration, the deep stillness where the self dissolves, and all that remains is clarity. In that silence, you realize you were never lost. You were just looking away. There is a saying: before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. The path does not take you away from life, it brings you back to it. You don't need to be a monk to live mindfully. You can practice right here in your home, at your desk, in traffic, in the middle of laughter or pain. Each breath is a chance to return. Each moment is a gate to awakening. So walk gently, speak truthfully, love deeply. The compass of life is already within you, guiding you, always pointing toward peace. And if you ever forget, just pause. Breathe in, breathe out. You are already on the paths. If this message touched your heart, let it travel further. Share it, and let one more soul remember the quiet truth within. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be free.